Thank you for joining us for the Barbados Today morning news for Thursday, July 27th. I am Mary Claire Williams. Defense attorney Andrew Pilgrim says the recent ruling by the Caribbean Court of Justice, which ordered the release of 2 convicted killers, will force the police to gather more sound evidence. Pilgrim represented Vincent Edwards and Richard Haynes in a murder case for the 2006 killing of Damian Aline. The CCJ ruled that the convictions could not be upheld due to the lack of evidence presented by the Director of Public Prosecutions. The only evidence linking the appellants to the murder was their alleged oral confessions. Pilgrim tells Barbados Today that was not good enough.
The absence of a rule to this effect in Barbadian law has been a significant problem for us over the last 20-30 years. What it meant was that police officers accused, that is, put an oral statement in the mouth of an accused and lock him up based on that, and that juries would be told that that was sufficient. For a long time, our Court of Appeal was of the view that that was the way to go, and our judges were of the view also that that was the way to go. This case makes it clear that you will require more than just a verbal. The case also points investigation of evidence, but more importantly, in the use of, they point them in the direction and the use of technology to record confessions, so that we don't get this thing of he say, she say being the basis of a trial. It's an extremely important decision in my view, in that it is going to cause evidence to improve, it will protect good police officers, and it will lead to the guilty being convicted.
In other news, Commerce Minister Donville Inniss has told government and the social partners to stop the bickering and get to work in fixing the economy. Inniss was responding to the ongoing impasse over the austerity measures announced in this year's budget. He warns that there will be public sector job losses if something is not done to address the current economic challenges.
I, like most of my colleagues in government, remain satisfied that additional direct or indirect taxation is not the sustainable solution to our macroeconomic challenges. Such fiscal and related monetary policies can only be temporary measures designed to balance the budget in a short space of time without causing significant social dislocation in the long run. For example, the government wages bill can be significantly reduced next month by a significant reduction in staff complement. But we are all aware of the social and political consequences of such an action. And I have no doubt that such will occur, but perhaps more over time than in one action.
Inniss also reiterated his calls for the merger or closure of some state entities.
And I am of the firm view that a significant reduction in this burden can be achieved without major dislocation. From my level, we have to be bold and make firm decisions in respect to the role of the state in economic development, and in so doing, be prepared to remove ourselves from some areas of endeavors that are just not socially or financially viable for society at large as currently structured and operating. Simply put, several of our state-owned enterprises need to be merged, restructured, or closed. But in so doing, we must use such as a tool for greater economic empowerment of our people.
One social activist is calling for greater recognition to be given to the observance of July 26 as the day of national significance. MP Trevor Prescott made the call yesterday on the observance of the 80th anniversary of the 1937 riots, after which the day is named. Barbados Today's Kobe Brooms has more.
President of the Israel Lovell Foundation, Trevor Prescott, believes too many Barbadians are unaware of the impact that revolutionary leaders like Clement Payne and Israel Lovell played in the fight for the rights of workers. The opposition MP made the remarks on the sidelines of the Israel Lovell's Foundation Remembrance Ceremony at the grave of Lovell to mark the 80th anniversary of the 1937 riots. This year's anniversary was preceded by a joint public-private sector march against the government's austerity measures on Monday.
I believe that he is a victim of negligence as a result of the colonial educational system and the effort to undermine the contribution of working class people who have made a major contribution They are people who are featured in our history books. Has not done as much, but were beneficiaries of the struggle that he led.
Therefore, he is calling for a greater effort to be made in order to revolutionize the education system so that Barbadians will be well equipped with the necessary knowledge.
I am not one of those who even calling for reformation, because the reality, the word has been used over the years, and it comes across as a soft touch as it applies to change. I personally believe that we have to revolutionize the educational system.
In that regard, he also wants to see greater recognition and appreciation of July 26 as the day of national significance. Kobe Brooms, Barbados Today.
Police are seeking the public's assistance in locating missing teen Gabrielle Delicia Murray of Cherry Grove, St. John. The 13-year-old was last seen around 4 o'clock on Tuesday afternoon by her grandparents at their home at 30 Mangrove Development, St. Philip. At the time, she was wearing a short black dress with the USA printed on the front with black and gold slippers while carrying a peach flip bag. Murray is 5 feet 7 inches tall, slim, dark, with an oval face. She has brown eyes and a scar in the center of her forehead. She also has unpierced ears and walks with a slouch. Police are asking anyone with information relating to the whereabouts of Gabrielle Murray to contact the District C police station at telephone number 416-8200 or 416-8201. You can also call the police emergency number 211, Crime Stoppers at 1-800-TIPS, that's 1-800-8477, or the nearest police station.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Flags? Check. Costume? Check. Mommy, I'm ready.
Ready? Ready for what?
For Junior Kadooment and Fear in association with MQI and the Barbados Lumber Company on Saturday, July 29, 9 a.m. at the National Stadium.
Oh, yes.
I want to go too, but I want to go in the jumping tent and ride the slides at the fair on the infield. Don't forget the big after party with Father Fox, Indian, Scrappy HD, Ramonji, Dancing Africa, Hardware, Hyper Kids, and Stiffy.
Plug into who? Plug into what? Plug into
It's only $30 and you get to bring 2 children on the 12th free.
Well, it seems like you two have everything covered. Okay, we'll go.
Thank you, Auntie.
Thanks, Mommy. Where are you going?
To ask Daddy to come so that we can take 2 more of our school friends for free.
Junior Kadooment and Fear in association with MQI and the Barbados Lumber Company. Saturday, July 29th, National Stadium.
Thank you for staying with us. We're back now with news from the region. A new study has found that Caribbean staghorn corals are benefiting from coral gardening. That's the process of restoring coral populations by planting laboratory-raised coral fragments on reefs. The research has important implications for the long-term survival of coral reefs worldwide, which have been affected by climate change and ocean pollution. Staghorn coral populations have declined by as much as 90% in the Caribbean since the 1980s. And finally, Russia is warning of retaliation after the U.S. House of Representatives approved new sanctions against Moscow. The European Union says the move might affect its energy security, and it too stands ready to act. The lower house of Congress voted to impose the sanctions on Tuesday. We get more in this Reuters report.
The Kremlin Wednesday calling a vote for new U.S. sanctions against Moscow, quote, sad news.
The bill is passed.
Deeming the latest bipartisan effort in the Congress extremely unfriendly, but adding President Putin won't retaliate until it becomes law. The House Tuesday voted overwhelmingly for the bill, which also proposes sanctions against Iran and North Korea. Reuters editor Karen Bowen.
This is a very big setback for President Trump's promise to improve relations with Russia. Russian meddling in the election is a very big issue in this whole debate about the sanctions bill, because even Republicans in Congress want to make sure that President Trump doesn't ease sanctions on Russia at a time when people are very concerned about Russian meddling in the election.
Lawmakers in the House want to punish Russia for allegedly interfering in the 2016 U.S. presidential race and for annexing Crimea in 2014. They also want to limit the president's ability to roll back these sanctions. Now it's down to the Senate.
And that's the news this morning. You can get more on our website, www.barbadostoday.bb. You could also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're on Izumi Media in bus terminals and Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also tune into Mix 96.9 FM for more news. I am Marie Claire Williams. Good morning.